Well, well, well. What do you say after that? What do you say after that? Gonna wait till a few people join in and I'll get cracking, but absolutely piss poor. Absolutely piss poor. Hopefully Frankie's going to be joining me soon. Good friend Matt from Mexico will be joining soon. Going to give a couple of minutes for people to join in, but for me, absolutely fucking shit. Fucking load of bollocks. Absolute pissed off with David Moyes to start off with, right? You look at that lineup, and I knew we weren't going to win, right? You got Antonio up front. He can't fucking score if you put him straight clean through. You'll trip over his shoelaces, right? You got players well past their date, right? And there's nothing out there going on. This is the worst team in the league, Nottingham Forest, right? And I'll stand by my word. It's the worst team when you looked at last weekend's performances. If we started with Scamacca, Cornet, we're winning this game. We're winning this game hands down, right? Definitely, right? I don't understand it. Why we start with the same flipping team that haven't done anything since Christmas, right? You look at the lineup. Let's look at the lineup, right? Let me share my screen. I'm absolutely sick of this to the thing. Let me know in the chat how you feel. I'm absolutely freaking out, Ryan. I've had enough, mate. I've had enough. Absolutely had enough of what's going on, mate. You know, you look at that lineup and Fabianski. I mean, we'll go for the team in a minute. Fabianski, I don't think he'd done too much wrong. I think Johnson a little bit up and down for the first goal. Kafal, Krezi. The thing with this team is, everyone, you just know confidently they're not going to score. Souček, numerous chances. He kept caressing the ball like he's got no strength in his legs. I was going to say something else before getting into trouble. I haven't got no confidence that this team's going to score, right? And why does David Moyes not start with Cornet or Scamacca, who can offer much more and put, obviously... And then even the subs, you bring Lanzini on and you don't bring Cornet on till the 81st minute. Listen, I am just flipping fuming about this, mate. I've had enough, mate. Absolute piss poor. Frankie, I've had enough, mate. Absolute fucking load of shit. Playing the team. I think they're the worst team in the league, Nottingham Forest, mate. I've had enough, mate. Cornet, look, yeah, I mean, he came on 81 minutes, didn't he, Cornet? Frankie, I don't think these guys could score if you put the ball in the goal line, mate. They'll trip over their shoelaces, mate. I don't think so, mate. Can you hear me, mate? Hopefully Frankie can you hear me? Oh, he's going to come back in. He's going to come back in. Because I know Frankie's fuming. Frankie's fuming about this. What's going on? Can you hear me, mate? You all right?
Yeah, got you now, mate.
Oh, you didn't hear me swearing and all that? Oh, you didn't catch none of that?
I've missed the rant, mate. I've missed the rant.
For me, Nottingham Forest are the worst team in the league. I'll stick by that for now. I think the lineup, and I don't know if I told it, the lineup was piss poor, same fucking shit. They can't even score if you put them clean through. Antonio, again, the clown, he just trips over his shoelaces. It's just... And you remember that time? I just remembered when every time he scored, halfway he kept touching the ball with his hand a couple of years ago. Just doing offside after offside, touching the ball with his hand. You look at that lineup, Frankie. Why don't you start with Cornet? Pull Scamacca up, then you can take him off after 60 minutes, not the other way around. And I think you spotted something in Rice. As soon as he took that penalty, I knew he wasn't going to score. I'm sorry. I knew he wasn't going to score, mate.
I wasn't confident, mate.
No.
I stepped up. I had my hand in me. in me head in my hands, mate, thinking we're in trouble here. He ain't putting this away. I had no confidence, mate. He's a CDM. He's not used to sticking the ball in the back of the net. Give it to one of your attacking players. We got Cressy can hit a ball. Give it to Cresswell. Give it to Ben Rama. Give it to anyone, but not Declan Rice. Strange choice. And like I said, that ego thing of I'm the captain, I'm taking penalties, that ain't going to work for us, mate. Give it to people who can stick the ball in the back of the net.
Exactly. I mean, Souček for me, mate, numerous chances, just no power behind anything he was doing, constantly just... And Forest, to give them, they kept falling over, fair due to them. I mean, we hit the post a couple of times. It just didn't look like nothing was going to happen, mate. And I thought, worst scenario, we're going to nick a point somehow. But it just got worse and worse as the game went on. It just didn't look like anything going on, mate. I mean, Kafal a couple of times, the pass was missing. Zuma and Johnson together, there's no chemistry there. They're a bit all over the place. Very surprised to see Ben Rama starting, mate. I thought he's in the shop window, that he's fallen out with David Moyes. Antonio, he ain't going to score, is he? He ain't going to score Frankie all day. He just doesn't look like scoring. He just...
No.
And what's your reaction on that goal, like the foul? What's your reaction on the goal being disallowed first?
I've had time to sort of think about it and look back on it now, mate. And you still emotions are running high because of the game's just finished. But I kind of had a look at it at half time, and the thing is, the ref does stay consistent. Just before that, Antonio was getting really frustrated that they were getting into his back, all over him, manhandling him, being very physical. Then the same thing happens. The ref lets it go. So I know everyone's screaming at the ref, and I'm not saying the ref had a good game today because the ref was poor. He was really poor, right? But the ref does let it go. He lets it stand as a goal. It's VAR that pulled that back, mate. It's VAR that make him change it. I would love to see one day a ref actually have the minerals to actually walk over to that screen and say, do you know what? In my eyes, don't care what you're telling me in my ear roll, that is 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other. They've both gone at each other. One was stronger than the other. The other one's gone on the ground. If that bit beforehand doesn't happen, i.e. when Antonio was screaming that he should have had a free kick and he lost his head a little bit, Antonio doesn't throw his arms out like he does.
That's the key. That's the key.
And that is the key. If he isn't frustrated in his mind and he doesn't do that, then the goal stands. It's the hands that come out of frustration
to push him.
That's what causes it. And it wasn't a push. The arms just come out in frustration. But it's enough for the VAR to look at that and go, we're going to disallow it. So really frustrating.
Because that is a foul. The Forest guy's blocking him. It is a 50 handbags and a bit more.
6 to 1, half a dozen the other, mate. It's a coming together. One ends up coming off better than the other one. It was no different to the other ones that were happening throughout all of the first 20 minutes of the game. And the ref saw it that way and the ref let it go. But VAR were the ones who pulled it back, mate. So very, very frustrating. And
like my daughter said, when they go over to the camera...
It's always. And I'd love to see one of them actually stand up and go, bump. Do you know what I mean?
And that Forest lady with the pigtails, I'm going to stick one on you, mate. Pain in the ass giving it a big one. But when they go over to the screen, they're going to do what they're going to do.
And that's because they've had... But that's a new thing, isn't it? It started off where... And if they would make the decision upstairs, unless it was a bit iffy, then they would ask the ref to look. But now it always seems like they let the ref have a look. But what is the point? Because the ref always gives it the way they want him to give it anyway. So there's absolutely no point in doing it. It just delays everything, slows the game down. For me, I don't understand it. I'd love to see a ref have enough bollocks to turn around and go, no, I don't see it that way. That's been happening throughout the game. I've not given it up until this point. I'm staying with consistency, and that goal stands. And I'd have loved to have seen him do that, but we all know they ain't strong enough, mate.
I mean, Bowen was offside, and I thought they were going to look at that. But he obviously wasn't interfering with play, so that I thought that might be brought up. This comment, Afran, it's just not good enough. That's my feeling, Frankie. I am totally pissed off.
What blows my mind, though, mate, is there are people out there saying we played well. I'm serious. There are people on social media now saying this is really unfortunate because we played well. I don't think we lost the game to a terrible performance. I do think we were unlucky at times. It was really frustrating to watch. But there were a lot of things that I think have led to us losing that game today. And I think the starting lineup is one of them. I think substitutions is another one. And then there's a bit of unfortunate things that have happened throughout the game that have also led to, us losing that game as well. But if you sit there and you really think that we played well, I'm not saying we were poor, I'm not saying we were terrible, but played well is a big statement, then mate, I'm in shock.
Frankie, this is the worst team for me in the league at the moment. Lingard, what did he do in the whole game? I didn't see anything. He fluffed that little goal that was ruled out. I think one of those things. He didn't do anything, and Forest had nothing. So we've got to bear that in mind. This is a very piss poor team, and and I never, from the beginning, I just knew we're not going to score, because every time Souček is there, he bum fluffs it like a kid. And Benrahma, he had a lot of things went unlucky for him and stuff like that. Antonio, just not clever, not guiding.
For me,
enough.
Again, mate, first half, I think Antonio tries to hold the ball up more than he's tried to hold the ball up in ages. But I think the point was his head was gone by the end of that half. And I think a good manager looks at him and goes, do you know what? Your head's gone. You're frustrated. You're losing the battle. I'm just going to switch you out. And I think if we would have given other players more time into that game, then it could have been a different result. To give Cornet 5 minutes was a joke, mate. Just give him 10, 15. Why wait 5 minutes to go? What difference is he going to make in 5 minutes? I just sat and thought.
Mate, Lanzini came on before Cornet.
Lanzini was the wrong choice of substitution at that time. Really, really poor decision to bring on Lanzini at that time. And I couldn't believe that Moyes didn't just go, stick Scamacca up there, stick Antonio up there, and just it balls up to him and just give it to him. Just
seriously,
just pump it up to him and just bully him and just absolutely overrun him. And I can't believe he didn't do that. Instead, he brings him off. And I've got to say, mate, because I don't know whether we're going to go through the players and our opinions on how they played throughout the game, but I've seen a lot of people doing the normal dig out Souček, dig out this, dig out that. Mate, Fornals is on such a terrible, terrible run of form for West Ham. He does nothing but give the ball away. I'm not saying he don't run. He runs, he tries. There was one tackle he made which actually led to us having that chance. And I thought, well, that's the first time I've seen you do that. But other than that, all he does is give the ball away, gets pushed off the ball too easy. For me, mate, we've got a real problem with Fornals at the moment, and that's got to change.
We will do that, mate. We will do that, what you just said. Tommy, hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in, mate. You start Downs over I thought Souček was kind of the old Souček. He was getting in the box. He did have chances, right? Yeah. I like that. But I just thought he's not being streetwise enough, and just put your foot through the ball, smash it, and you're not doing it. And
he's lost that edge, isn't he? Like you said, them headers, that one where it's sort of bounced back. I think he's going to throw himself through that and just bury it. And he sort of, it was such a weak header in the end that the keeper was able to get back and gather. I was just like, I don't know, mate. But I do feel like he was a bit of his old self. But it almost seems like whichever one we let get more forward, the other one as a moan up and don't have a very good game. If we say Rice sit, Rice has an off day. If we say Souček sit, he has a complete off day. Both of them are not interested in being a CDM. If they don't want to be a CDM, don't poxy play either of them as a CDM. Get somebody else. If they don't want to play, don't play for West Ham. If that's where we need you, don't play. We'll get someone else to play there.
I think going back to your Souček comment, that is the one where I told my daughter, why doesn't he pick a corner and it's a goal? Left corner, right corner, it's in. Don't hit it straight at the fucking goalkeeper. Numerous times, Frank, you keep hitting it at the goalkeeper. Pick a corner and it's in. This we do. I mean, I'm not going to put the stats up, but the stats tell me, Tommy, Frankie, 58% ball possession, 19 goal attempts, 5 shots on goal, and he don't score. Frankie, what more do you need? And I don't know if you had that feeling. I just didn't think we were going to score. I just had that feeling we're just not going to score.
I thought we was. I thought that second half. I really believed that we was going to come out that second half and run through them. And I said I put out a tweet saying, this ain't going to take us long to level it up. And I was almost right, because within seconds, we've hit the bar. It's come back down. And we dominated for the first 10 to 15 minutes. But the point again was, that 10, 15 minute spell goes. We then need pace. We then need another option up front. And the substitution he ends up making with Lanzini, for me, was just all wrong at that particular time, mate. All wrong.
Piss poor, mate. Ryan said he would start my Nan. If your Nan's left-footed, he could come in for Johnson. That might help a bit, mate. And again, always honest, I thought Fab was all right. Fab did a couple of little fews, all right.
I thought Fab had a solid enough game, to be fair. The only thing I was a bit... When their goal went in, Johnson obviously needs to clear his lines, doesn't.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Fabianski's dived over there and is on the floor.
Yeah,
when the ball
you're
goes
right.
I was like, why have you dived over there? What have you done?
I'm thinking, Frankie, when he's got the dead leg, he's gone off, and he's kicked Areola out the team, I know where this is heading, mate. I think his confidence is on the floor, Areola's. I think that's it, mate. Phil, how you doing? Hope you're all right, mate. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm just sick of David at the moment. I'm just like, mate, we ain't got nothing as it is. This team's been out of form since January. Cornet's had a great season. Scamacca, for me, what I've seen. And I'm just worried that he's going to kill all these people off, keep bringing them off, not starting them. Confidence goes off. Let's put Scamacca in, Cornet, 81 minutes, I think he can. Yeah, I know. I am epic. Hope you're right. And they saying, you see the lineup, I'm like, oh my days. And listen, Ben Rama done all right, but these are the type of games. Forest, again, they will be in the bottom 3, 4, 5, everyone. I think they had 8, 9 new signings. Penalty, mate. Penalty. Yes. Tell me another thing, Frankie. Why did that ref have to go to the TV? Why couldn't he see it? It's a clear as handball. There it is.
Mad. And he sat there standing there looking at it.
Oh, my God.
The replay, you see him look at the replay. And I thought after the first one seeing it, I thought he was just going to go, penalty. And then he watched it again and again and again and again and again and again. And in the end, VAR stopped the ball on his hand and go, there you go. That's the decision you got to make. Go and give the penalty. But for me, mate, at the end of the day, I know the keeper's right behind him, and I do understand that. But I can't get my head around how that is not a sending off. I just cannot understand. In front of goal, you can put your hand in front of the ball like that with a shot that's going on target, and you don't get sent off is beyond me, mate. I just don't
you know why, Frankie? Because no one in our team, like Arteta, goes up to the ref, puts their hands in the air. Moyes doesn't say nothing on the touchline.
100%. We've got a real problem, right, with game management. Nottingham Forest managed that game, a championship side, managed that game better than we did. The amount of times we concede within the first couple of minutes of a game, the last couple of minutes of a game, we do it time and time and time again. And it's so frustrating. We do not manage games properly. And people ain't going to like this. And people will kick off and tell me I know nothing about football. And they'll tweet me and all loads of abuse. And they will. I'm telling you now, as much as we all know Declan Rice is a world-class footballer, and I'm not saying he isn't, he needs to mature and he needs more experience as a captain because he needs to help the side manage games. When our heads went after that disallowed goal, he needs to get the team together and he needs to go, come on, switch back on. We need to make sure we get into half-time, 0-0, and instead they go and score a goal. Instead, you see Rice, he's walking around, he's throwing his arms up in the air, you don't want your captain throwing his arms up in the air, having a little hissy fit like a little girl. He has got to mature. He really has.
Frankie, you know where we are in the league, mate?
Bottom of the, well, not far.
We're second from bottom with Man United, mate. And we've got Brighton coming up. I think we've got Spurs, Liverpool. Lanzini for me again. These boys have been at the club for reason. I hate having to go at them. Why is Moyes?
Mate, I was on the Spaces last night, right? And do you know what worries me as well? And there's this opinion that, and this is what they actually said. This was what somebody said on last night, a West Ham fan on social media, and loads of people agreed with it, right? That Man City game wasn't the start of our season. And then they said tomorrow, because it's Nottingham Forest's first game back in the Premier League, and because it's going to be such a big atmosphere and blah, 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 it's going to be a really hard game to win. So if we don't get on at Forest and we don't get anything, then our season starts against Brighton. The problem with that opinion, mate, is one, the season absolutely has started. People are starting to get points on the table.
Momentum, yeah.
Momentum's really important. But two, everyone, and I also said on there that with the squad we've got, do you think that the Europa Conference League is a good thing for us? And I'm debating it at the moment, mate, because we haven't got a squad anywhere near enough to manage a Europa Conference League run this year, along with the Premier League and the domestic trophies. So at the end of the day, what saved us last season, because if you took us from January till the end of the season, we'd have finished 13th. What saved us and got us 7th was the start that we had to the season. So many points on the board early doors. You have to, when you want this European Conference League run, get points on the board early. Get yourself ahead of the game. And then if you have a little bit of an iffy spell, because you do end up in the latter stages of that competition and it goes, mate, we couldn't win a game, save our life after Europe, could we? The same will happen again. We need points on the board early. And to write off the first 2-3 games of a season is lunacy, mate. It's mad.
You're absolutely right. It's all about momentum. And to be fair, people, not me, I thought we had absolutely shit preseason, mate, right? Shit January form. Stop looking at those 2 Europa nights, mate. It is crap since January. The windows, the dealings. Another week's gone in the window. We're pussyfooting around. The club, whoever we're trying to buy, they want 30 million and we start with bidding 15 million on Monday. Then it goes up to 16 on Tuesday. So another week's gone. Moyes has one tactic. I think it's more about the players. It's the same team for 2.5 years. So like Pep, you're thinking about playing West Ham. You know exactly who's going to be playing. You know the way we're going to play. Boeing, worryingly, mate, another quiet one for Boeing.
Quiet game.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, mate. I can't quite work out what's causing Bowen's lack of form, because it's not a lot different role that he's playing. You know, he's playing alongside Antonio. He still can feed off of him. He still had a few moments where he's in the box today and didn't quite have that sharpness that he had last year. Last year, he seemed so sharp. Everything that sort of landed at him, he was on it. I felt like he was a little bit off the pace a little bit. I just think I don't know, maybe he's just not quite 100% match fit and fully up and running yet. But a poor game again from him, mate.
I think he's, I'm not sure if he's signed the improved contract. I think he's been tapped up, but the club obviously are in power position. It could play with your mental strength. But going again back to, if Arsenal are tapping you up and you're seeing what's happening at Arsenal and you're seeing what's happening in our club, it can play with your mind because you're ambitious.
Mr. Mace, nice to see you, mate. I ain't seen you in a very, very
long time.
Yeah. Just that to say hello to him, because he's one funny man, and it's really good to see you, mate.
I'll catch up with all the comments now. Dill, you make your day, mate. You don't wait for the day to be your day. You deal with it. If you can't beat Forest, mate, and you're thinking top 6, mate, forget that, mate. Actually, when the penalty was given, I was like, who the hell is that penalty taker? I was panicking. Like, I couldn't think of any. I did not want Antonio to take it before I had got it right.
No.
I did not. That boy is just a calamity, all over.
Cresswell or Ben Rama for me.
Cressy a good shout. Cressy or Benny's a good shout.
They're the two. But, yeah, it was a strange one, mate, wasn't it?
Frankie, that was ages ago. He's back in now, mate. Oh god, I got so many comments. Ben Rama, I'm not gonna knock him. Hit the post a couple of times. Hey, how you doing, Richie? You all right, mate? I'm on Moyes' back at the moment, mate. I'm on his back at the moment. It's just one-dimensional. It's boring. It's predictable. It's lethargic. Antonio, why does he keep starting? I'm just sick of it, mate. I'm just sick of it. I've had enough of him, mate. I've had enough. It's been you're all getting on my bandwagon now, mate. Same team, same stuff, mate. I'm just Forest, mate. Forest
that was expected goals, but mate, that stat always tells a lie. At the end of the day, who really gives a damn about expected goals? The only goals that matter are the ones that you actually score, aren't they? They are, though. Who cares how many you was expected to score? I'll tell you one thing. If you give, and it's mad, that type of stat, they call it expected goals. Do they actually knock it down because we've got Antonio in front of the goal or not? Do you know what I mean? It's those sort of stats just have no relevance in football for me.
I think Richie, Benny will always do half good against these type of clubs, but I want him to do it against the top 6, as I keep saying. That's how I judge a player. We're playing Man United, City, Liverpool, Spurs. Well, Man United not a top team anymore at the moment, but anyway, that.
What I did like about Benny, though, mate, that one that he did score, I'll give him credit. He stayed on side brilliantly. He played to the whistle brilliantly. And he was walking, when he was running off, he was going like that, think. And he did. I actually think Ben Rama was a lot more with it and in the game. And for me, it was the best game I've seen him have in a very, very long time. And I know you're right, against the lesser sides, when he's got it his way, is when he's one of them fair weather players, isn't he? If he hasn't got someone sticking it on him and he hasn't got someone bullying him and outpacing him, then he has a better game. But today, I was all right with him today. I felt like he had a better.
I will add one thing. If Harry Redknapp was managing Ben Rama, great player in there. I'm telling you. If someone like Harry Redknapp was managing that type of player, and we knew Harry loved those kind of players, and I blame a bit of Moyes in that. There's something he's not getting the best out of Ben Rama, and I blame the manager for that. Kafal still got to do a lot more for me, mate. Got to do a lot more for me. Yeah. Benny, very unlucky not to. Ryan's on my bandwagon. Chrissy, how you doing? It's just not there, him, Kafal, the first season, mate, for me. Souček, he's just not there for me. Kafal, yeah. Paul. Kafal's getting a lot of stick, Frankie, a lot of stick.
Mate, I've always given him stick. And this is the thing. I don't know why we sort of overrate our players like we do at times. But remember when I said, look back at the video from Souček, and I said he should be playing basketball. He can jump really high, brilliant at headers, but his footballing ability is limited. Now all of a sudden everyone's woken up to it. Souček said the same thing. He can run. He's an engine. He won't stop running for you, but his positional awareness is terrible. He never cuts out the cross. And when he gets forward, mate, he's passing and crossing is just poor. But that's everyone's going, oh, Souček's no different to what he's always been, mate. He's always been that player. He's never been particularly a great wing back, but he's been a trier, and he's someone who don't stop running. That's it.
Ben Rama for you, was he our best player, mate? Hard to think about who the best player is.
No, I do think he was. I do think he was, mate. I do think Ben Rama. I think he was the only one creating stuff. I think he was the only one who was making things happen. I think Ben Rama was the brightest player on the pitch for us today. By some mile, to be honest.
That's an interesting comment, Ryan Moyes. And some people, again, the majority will say, are you mad? Are you stupid? I like the Chelsea way sometimes, where they have managers that win the leagues and next season they're out, right? So they do it a bit like that. And the other thing to think about, obviously, there's not too many managers out there. I mean, Eddie Howe, my respect for him's growing up and up and up. What about that comment, Moyes out, mate? And do you understand a bit of it, or is it totally crazy to think about that long term? Or
I've always been of the opinion that I don't think he's the manager who would ever bring us any trophies or what I call true success. I think you can call it success of what he's achieved with us, stabilising the club, back-to-back European finishes. I will accept all of that. Do I think he's the man long term? I'm not sure.
No.
I just don't think you'll win anything with him. And it's all right to say, again, I was having this conversation last night. They were saying that basically it's impossible to win a trophy nowadays because it's always Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. So you can't win a domestic trophy. And the best that you can finish in the Premier League is 7th. And I was like, that's what Moyes will give you. He will always give you top 7, top 8 finishes. Mate, if we go to football and pay all the money we do to never win a trophy and just finish 7th or 8th, mate, you might as well give up. There's no point in paying for your season ticket anymore. What would be the point in football if you absolutely have no chance of winning anything and all the best you're going to do is finish 7th or 8th? You might as well not watch football anymore.
2 years ago, me and Frankie, we don't have any FIFA badges. We're not experts. We're passionate fans. We've got a lot of experience watching West Ham. We've got a fair sort of respect in what we say. And I know, and you remember when Lingard came in, that was brilliant. Thank you, God. But we all knew we need a CDM in there. And Rice gets injured. We lose that Champions League by 2 points. Last season, we could have easily finished Europa at minimum. So we so many things have gone wrong, and we've not backed up the great position we were in 2 years ago, right? We were well ahead of Spurs, Arsenal, Newcastle were not even in the frame. Villa were like nowhere near us. We smashed them every game. And we kind of lost that edge as we always do in West Ham history. And I've got 2 points, Frankie. I've had enough, mate. I know. And someone said, Twitter, Jazz, you're grumpy. And this isn't when I saw the team lineup. Jazz, you're grumpy. I said, I've just had enough. I'm just
but
like.
You could call that result from the lineup.
Yeah,
that's the point. But why don't other people get that? Do you know what I mean? You can't start like that, waste 45 minutes, and then think, oh, we're actually going to bring on our new signings now and we're going to try and make something happen. You can't just give away 45 minutes in a football match. If you feel that your man, your best striker is Skamaka, I don't care how, used to with the side he is, you just have to start him, mate. And in a few games, he'll find his feet and he'll be your main man. You can't just drip him in here and there and waste games and throw games and not get any points on the board. It's no good.
Mr. Krishnan, I think you're from India. Namaste. Hope you're okay. That means hello in Hindi. Do you agree with him? Krishnan's always banging on. He doesn't think we're going to get any points from 6 games. I'm not even going to argue with that at the moment, right? Thinking I'm a smart ass. I'm really angry, Frankie. I've had enough. I've really had enough of the whole window, the whole pre-season, the whole Europa semi-final, the Cressy sending. It's driven me over the wall. I'm really, really angry. And I hate missed penalties, even though before he took it, I told my cousin, in the modern era, it's 50-50 at the moment, right? If you're going to score a penalty, if you're not. How are you feeling, Frankie? How are you feeling? I just want to know. Do you want to just, I don't know what you want to do. I don't know.
It's hard, mate. At the end of the day, it's really, I miss football so much when it ain't here. And I still getting used to football being back. I'm always optimistic, mate, because that's just how I am. And I always think West Ham can have a good season. And I love football. I love seeing my pals. I love going to football. There's nothing better on a Saturday, Sunday, whenever it is, going to West Ham. Nothing better. So I'm always optimistic. I'll never not love going over there. But we've got problems. And the problems that we could see coming a mile off, everyone sort of brushed over them. And all said, this when we finished last season, this is how mad it gets sometimes. And, I get dug out a lot. But, when everything comes home to roost, normally I'm not too far away from the mark. Everyone said, we don't need loads of signings. We need 2 or 3 first team signings and build on last year. We had the oldest squad in the division. How are you going to build on having the oldest squad? This was always going to require a bit of, redoing, a re-engineering, mate. This needed freshening up big time. And 2 or 3 new signings was never, ever going to cut it, mate. So where these people got the idea that we could kick on, build on last season, go again, we're definitely going to be in a semi-final, final of a European competition again, we'll be brilliant in the league again. I don't get where people quite got it from. We needed to really freshen things up, mate. And then everyone got excited because we finally signed a striker. You're not allowed to moan about this window because we spent 100 million. At the end of the day, mate, why are people only considering this window as the big picture? Because it ain't just about this window. We've had windows and windows of neglect, and we had to make up for them this time. What we have done at the moment is the very minimum that we had to do to try and sustain a similar season to last season, the absolute minimum. And I think that's going to show massively if we don't do some serious business and quick. And not only that, if Moyes sticks with this stubborn mentality that he has of playing his favourites and not opening up to a new idea of new players, new styles, and just trying to freshen things up a little bit, mate, because at the moment, we're running in a little bit of freefall, mate.
And to add to that, Frankie, you're not far away from losing the dressing room, I think, right? Due to not signing enough players, people like Bowen, Zuma, Rice, they're not going to hang around, right? They're not going to hang around. And Bowen, going back to your comment, Bowen has been tapped up by Arsenal. He's seen across London, and you might not know how much I hate Tottenham, right? I hate them so much, right? And I know, and I'm a bit envious of what's going on there and 1 or 2 other things. And I think we're on a cliff edge here. I mean, Matt, welcome from Matt. How you doing, mate? You all right, Matt?
Yeah, mate. How's my sound today? Okay or not?
Yeah, it's great because your lips ain't moving, but I can hear you. No, I can hear you, Matt.
Yeah, mate. I'm okay. I'm at the beach. That's why. I'm at the
That's
beach.
all right. That's all right.
Well, you know what? Let me reconnect. Let me reconnect. Give me a sec.
Yeah, no rush. Henderson in an interview has apparently said he knew what Rice was going to. That's even more embarrassing. I think actually we might have even known that in the front room, mate. You know,
that's what he does. He takes it, mate. You couldn't have projected any more. It would have been, with his body shape, it would have been impossible for him to shoot in the other corner. He literally telegraphed where he was putting that penalty, so much so that it was so easy, mate. So easy.
He looks so nervous as well, taking a couple of deep breaths. See, what happens when I watch it live, right? I put my phone alerts off, and obviously I get wound up in the family because I think one of us found out what's happened, but they didn't. I just knew he's going to miss. I don't know why I'm thinking these things. I just knew he ain't going to score, right? It's just weird what I'm thinking. Dave Rice's last year, mate. I think we'll see what happens. My cousin's a Liverpool fan. He thinks next year they're going to get Bellingham. Is it? What's his name? Dortmund.
Yeah, Jude Bellingham.
Great player. Jings looks a little bit. Dave, you're right, mate. Yeah, Benny done all right. Mate. But what did he hit the post 2-3 times? We hit the goal line 3-4 times. But sometimes you like that statement. You make your own luck, don't you, Frankie? You make your own luck.
Mate, 100%. Good teams have an off day but win 1-0. And we did start doing that a little bit. First half of last year, we'd have an off game, not play great, but still find a way to win. That's what you have to do. You have to find that goal, don't you? If you can have an off day, but you've got to find a way to get that goal.
What about that comment, Frankie? Okay, we're seeing a lot of these comments. Moyes out. But Frankie always reminds me, don't forget who owns the club, who controls the transfers, the budget. And going back to you, Matt, I'll come to you in a minute, mate, whenever you're ready. Frankie, that's a good point. It doesn't matter what manager comes in. You still got Sullivan, haven't you, mate? Pretending,
mate. And this is what I don't understand. I said this again last night. You know, everyone tells me, or you have one opinion. Oh, Moyes is in full control of this project. Moyes is in control of all the transfers. Moyes is in control from the club from top to bottom now. Sullivan ain't involved no more. That's what you hear. And you just think, but then you get a bad signing like Vlasic. That's then a Sullivan signing. But then you get a good signing. That's a Moyes signing. No, you can't have it always. At the end of the day, either Moyes is in control or he ain't. And I've always said it from even when everyone was saying, oh, it's all changed. You know, we've got the new director of football come in and we've got this and we've got that. At the end of the day, mate, the buck stops at Sullivan. Sullivan is still the main man who is in control of everything that happens with the incomings and outgoings of this football club. And if you believe otherwise, I'm sorry, but you're a little bit too naive for me.
Matt, take it away. I thought we were going to lose sooner sort of starting lineup. Over to you, Matt.
Yeah, well, we got what we deserve, mate. No, don't you think? I mean, realistically, I just don't understand why we didn't mix it up. Like you, mate, I don't know why we didn't put in Skamak. I don't know why we didn't start. You know, I mean,
Cornet,
Cornet, the 5 minutes, mate, and that was just an insult. I mean, I don't even understand what was going on there with management. I mean, there was shocking situations all over the pitch. I mean, look at the penalty. Rice, I could see that he was going to... I'm watching it here from my phone at the beach, mate. I said to my friend who I was sitting there watching it with on my phone, I said, he's going to miss it. Even I could see how he was profiling for the penalty, and you could see that Henderson was going that way, you know? Just disgusting, mate. Everything was really piss poor. I mean, it's one of those ones that if something had gone in, we would be sitting here, you know, waxing lyrical. If Ben Rama's goal hadn't been disallowed, if his free kick had gone in, etc., etc., but that would have just papered over the cracks. You know what I mean? If we'd have won that game and those goals had gone in, it would have papered over cracks of, like Frankie was saying, mismanagement, weak management from Moyes in certain aspects, and realistically a transfer window that now with Vlasic going to Torino is looking increasingly poor, you know, because at the end of the day, where are we going to go from here, mate? We don't have...
Matt, do you agree? For me, Forest are the worst team in the league, mate. They're shit. I'm telling you.
They've got a whole new team, mate. They shouldn't have won. They shouldn't gel together. You know what I mean? They've just got a whole new team in, basically. What is it, 12 or 13 players they brought in? You know, they shouldn't be picking up points.
What did Lingard do the whole game? Nothing, innit? Lingard, I didn't even notice him in the whole game.
He looks well out of shape. I don't know if it's the shirt, it's just horrible, but he looks a little bit chunky. You know, I think those summer vacations in US have caught up with him, you know. But at the end of the day, mate, you can see that Ben Johnson can't play centre back. cannot play centre back, not at the level that we need. Is too much disorganisation, especially if we've got Cresswell in the team, and we're just in trouble, mate. It's
what
really
about this?
piss poor
What
start to
about
the
Bowen?
season.
Me and Frankie touched upon him. Bowen is very quiet, isn't he? Bowen.
Yeah, I think he's had his head turned, mate. I think he's had his head turned. I think he's had his head turned there by what they say is Arsenal. I think, maybe he's got a little bit big for his boots, like with Antonio when he went to the England squad. Started hovering around the England squad, maybe thinking he's a little bit better than he is. Because Bowen is a solid player, mate, but he's not out of this world. It's like maybe he's getting found out like Diop did. Because remember when Diop was being hearted around for 40 million, 25 million, 30 million to go to Liverpool. And then look where he is now, ending up going to Fulham. Bowen the same, 40 million that's going to go to Liverpool, 50 million, 40 million to Arsenal now. And maybe he's just getting found out that he's a good, solid player, but very one-dimensional. And if a team sets up well to counteract what he offers us, then you're seeing this null effect, it's a real shame.
And Matt, do you agree? All right, I'm one of those, I do care about preseason. You guys can knock me on Twitter. I do care. I do get an idea what's going on in preseason, right? That was absolutely crap. 3 transfers, 5, 6 good players have suddenly gone. Cody's like, I've had the best phone call of my life from Lampard. You're telling me Lampard is selling Everton Football Club ahead of West Ham? And what does that say about Moyes? That is embarrassing. We are way ahead of... Listen, I respect Everton. Great club, growing up as a kid. But in this position at the moment, if someone goes to Everton ahead of West Ham, Frankie, you can jump in. I've had enough, mate. This is a joke, mate. Anana and people like that.
Yeah, mate. It's everyone said that this big stadium, that this getting into Europe was going to make us really attractive to play for, and we'd be able to sign a new calibre of player and this and that. And mate, I don't see any evidence of that.
What a great statement. Do we have a player in form, mate? I don't even know. I don't know. I'm giving up, mate. I haven't seen nothing from anyone.
Well, hang on. We're 2 games into the season. It's a bit hard to have a player in form in 2 games. So, yeah. No, but I can understand towards the back of last season, we didn't really have anyone firing on all cylinders either. So if you're talking about carrying over from last season, don't know. But we are only 2 games in. We need to give it a minute before we talk about form.
Matt, do you agree that no one coming in, heads getting turned, Rice on the way out next year, Souček lethargic, Kufal lethargic, Grandad Fabianski, Grandad Krezi, Benny doesn't get on with the manager. It's all there, isn't it? All the ingredients for losing the dressing room. It's just a matter of weeks and months. I don't know how long this is going to carry on. Again, another week's gone, Matt. We haven't even signed anyone again, right? It's just getting too much now, isn't it?
I don't know if you guys have talked about it, but I do think that I don't want to repeat it if you have. I think the decision to put Rice on the penalty definitely is a form of appeasement by Moyes to try and keep hold of Rice. I definitely don't think Rice should be our penalty taker. Not at all. I mean, I would give it to Ben Rama if he's on the pitch, or Lanzini,
Krezi was a good show, wasn't it? Krezi, yeah.
There's a lot of options, mate, and Rice, to be honest, would be my 5th or 6th choice, to be honest, looking at it logically. The thing is that could be Moyes' form of man management to appease Rice and give him that role that he's so desiring, of taking over from Noble, at least at this point. But it's not the right decision, and it's not for the best of the club, because at the end of the day, realistically, that decision to put him there cost us what would have been even an embarrassing point against Nottingham Forest. To be honest, taking a point at Nottingham Forest for me was an embarrassment. Not only because of the Lingard fact, but like you say, Nottingham Forest are a team. Look at the last 2 seasons, how we've started. 3rd place, 2nd place, 4th place after 4, 5, 6 games. And look where we finished. Now, if we're starting like this, it's going to be a hell of a job to turn it round if we don't do it in the next 2 or 3 games. And it's not only looking at results, it's looking at performances. What worries me more than the results are the performances. I mean, you can say that Man City are out of this world, Of course you can. But how we used to be known, a West Ham, a counter-attacking team, we didn't have that against Man City at all, because at least, on the break, we could hit them hard and maybe pick up a goal there, or at least cause them some issues. Against Man City, we'd lost that counter-attacking spark, And today, okay, we had moments here and there, but the performance did worry me.
I mean, I'll bring Frankie in a minute, but what is your opinion on, very good point again, Frankie picked up on, that handball? He should have gone off, wouldn't he, mate? Sent off. I mean, Frankie might not know, but Matt does a lot of coaching in football and that kind of thing. So should he have gone off, mate? Sending off?
I think I would have given it, I'm a ref, I probably would have given it there. I think he didn't give the red card because I guess he judged it wasn't intentional. I think if the ref had thought there was an intentionality in the movement, he would have given the red card. But I think that he might have judged it as non-intentional, and so that's why he got the yellow card.
I forgot to say something. Sorry, my daughter. I think the goalkeeper would have saved it. I think he was there, really.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
No, the goalkeeper was behind it, mate. And in fact, the defender was blocking the view of the goalkeeper. I think he would have had quite a comfortable save there. But Bowen on the bench, maybe
that's a bit. I don't know. Oh, we ain't got that luxury, Frankie, have we? Bloody hell, Bowen on the bench.
I think you have to stick with him. But again, if his head's been turned, I think we massively lack leadership at the moment, mate. Massively. I think leadership's a big problem. I think we're massively underestimating the loss of Noble, and not just Noble, but Stuart Pearce. I think both of those are big personalities.
Yep.
I think they both motivational characters. I think they put things in check. I don't think Rice steps up and takes that penalty if Noble and Stuart Pearce are still around that club. I think Moyes can just be overrun a little bit. I think Declan Rice is already bigger than Moyes, which is a problem. And I just think we massively lack a leader right now. And Rice, while I think he will be an England captain, I think he's a world-class player. I think he's a great player. I look at him out there and I see immaturities, and I just think, I don't see anyone vocal enough. I don't see anyone holding that team together. I don't see anyone commanding anything. I think it's a problem.
With that comment, Frankie, could I throw something out? Cat among the pigeons there.
Yeah, go for it.
Maybe throw it out there. Cornet on the left, Antonio on the right, Benrahma in the 10. Because remember, Jazz, I was saying about him being.
I said Bowen in the middle, didn't I? On my little formation. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that Benrahma gave us that demonstration today that he can take the reins at 10 or in a creative. Not that he was at 10, but I mean in that creative.
Who's he doing that to when he scored?
When you're playing at 10.
Who's he doing that to, Benrahma, when he went like that? I wonder. I don't know.
I think he was giving it to the crowd a little bit, the Forest crowd.
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it's the Forest crowd. They were giving it the big one all the way through, weren't they? And I think
they might be watching our channel. I don't know.
But he also turned around and went like that, as if to say, "Switch on. I've been clever there because you were all stopping for a foul and whatever, but I anticipated and played to the whistle." And he was going, "Switch on." I respected that. I think he done brilliant there, really.
Matt, what's your opinion?
Stand for him.
Yeah, Matt, what's your opinion on Scamacca, Cornet not even starting, mate?
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we know that Moyes, like I guess you guys have talked about it, he's stubborn, favoritism. I mean, that's classic through the Moyes reign, and it's when it's worked, we don't complain. But when it doesn't work, obviously we get out there and shout about it, But to me, to be honest, I don't know why at least one of them isn't starting. We need that spark. We need, and the idea is that these guys come in and give us something different. And I think out of the two, Scamacca is the one.
So Frankie does have a Frankie knows the boy. Yeah, Baz used to love him, innit? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think
Mr.
Scamacca
Mace
has to be up in there, mate. What did Antonio offer us today, mate? In shots at goal.
I'm just had enough. I hate having to go at him. But what is another thing? Me and Frankie, when we go to London Stadium, like you, we see the whole game, the movement. So when Scamacca came on, I knew we've got a player.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't just standing there like an idiot, like, hello, give me the ball, oh, wait. He was looking for the ball, intelligently making a few runs, going back to the halfway line to try to win the ball back. He had that header that I didn't know was offside. I nearly jumped off my seat. I thought it was going in. I like what I see, but Mr. Moyes, if you're going to keep not playing, I know, listen, again, well over the top from Jazz, only 2 games, I understand that, but Areola, I'm really worried about Areola. I think it's finished. Areola. I can't see him. You're starting him, you're bringing him off, you're starting him, no preseason, you bring him off again, dead leg, then you bring the granddad back on again. Having said that, Fab was okay, but Areola's mind, what would your mind be, Areola's mental mind, before you signed the contract and things
Mate,
like
but
that?
we've seen a bit of this, and I know everyone loves Moyes, and I know we all respect him for what he's done, and I get it all. I'm not saying Moyes out. I'm not saying he's a terrible manager. I'm not saying any of that. But you see Alex Kral when he turned around and said, he absolutely ruined my confidence. Really beat me up. I went into training
Used to
every
cry in
day
his
and
car.
I used to try cry. Do you know what I mean? Crying his card, slap the mug, to be honest. But at the end of the day, it shows you that he has got his favourites, and he has.
Yeah.
He is a very stubborn man, and you look at the players who we've had come in who are good players, and then we ruin them. He almost ruined Ben Rama, to be perfectly honest, but it seems like Ben Rama's still got a little spark left before that fire totally gets put out. But Hilaire was ruined by him. He then goes to Ajax, and I know it's a different league, and I get all of that, but he obviously had an ability to score goals. The amount of times we get players in, and then we totally ruin their confidence. And Diop last year, I know he's a calamity at times, and I know all of that, but he had a brilliant game against Leicester, a superb game, really looked like he was back to his old self a little bit, and then you don't see him for a single another minute until the end of the season. And that don't really do good for players' confidence, for their, it really does. That mental aspect of it, mate, and man management is really... I'm not sure Moyes gets that right with the whole squad. I think he does get it right with his favourites, and I think we saw a lot of togetherness. I think one of our strengths in the past couple of seasons was that we all fought for each other, that we was a real tight unit, and we all worked really hard for each other. That's unravelling a little bit at the moment, and that's a bit of a concern.
Historically, the thing with West Ham is, right, Phil Parkes once said, he said that team that won the FA Cup in 1980, League Cup final 81, the old second division won it. He goes, we were 2 players away. We would have won the league, right? We never do it. 1960s World Cup final, we had 3 members, and ladies and gentlemen, Gordon Banks wanted to sign for West Ham. We had some crappy little gentleman's agreement to sign Bobby Ferguson. We say no to Gordon Banks. 1986, we finished 3rd, and I think the league deliberately messed us up by forcing us to play 3-4 games a week, right? And we don't sign anyone in the summer, right? Until McAvaney is gone, too late. I've seen this. Alan Pardew, everything's going after the 06 final. Great base, great team. And Tevez and Mascherano messed the whole dressing room up, right? And we just about stay up. Iceland come in. Okay, I know the recession. Okay, I've seen it. That's why, Frank, I've just lost it now, Matt. I am not the calm Jazz anymore. I am grumpy. I am peed. I've just had enough. I haven't got any. I'm just so tired. And this comment, I don't agree. Trini, I love you. This comment, I don't agree with. You make your own luck. And Matt missed it. I told Frank, we were piss poor in terms of streetwise. We're not streetwise anymore. And again, Matt, you might have missed it. Me and Frankie was saying we don't have those leaders on the pitch who perhaps go to the referee for every decision. Antonio doesn't go down for enough penalties. We just haven't got that winning instinct. And so what Suchek is doing, sorry to interrupt, Matt, is he's picking up players. Are you right, mate? Are you right?
Yeah, 100%.
Mate. You're 6'4", mate.
The top teams, mate, look at Liverpool and Man City with tactical fouls. Incredible. The way that they do it. Pep Guardiola's teams always have been wonderful with tactical fouls. Picking up smart yellow cards in clear goal scored opportunities, etc. And we just don't have that side. And I'll give you an example today. We've got too many nice guys on the team, like you say. I don't want to jump on the guy, but what the hell was the Lanzini substitution? What does Lanzini?
God, I had a Kone.
That's where I was watching the game, and I was saying to my mate, 60 minutes, he should bring on Scamacca and Cornet double sub. Bring them both on.
Yeah.
Put the cat among the and we would have gone for it because Cornet came on for a few minutes, but he looked
And
like
do it at half
what's he
time.
gonna
Do it at
do?
half time, David Moyes. Do it at half time, right? Lift the fans, lift the crowd. Do it. 19 goal attempts, Matt. 5 and not 1 goal, mate.
Exactly. And
you're right, with the half time, but we did have like 10, 15 minutes of actually dominating that second half. But it was then that the substitutions needed to come. Once that momentum had been lost a little bit, it was then that it was after their second goal that got disallowed. At that moment, it was like the subs needed to come.
Mate, this comment, I think Chelsea. Oh, get in there. Chelsea 1-0 Tottenham. Right, but
Yeah.
I didn't think Onana played. Did you like Richie?
Yeah, he did play. He was a mistake for their first goal, but then he had a really solid game after that.
Oh, mate. I mean, did you see those comments from Martinez? And I know it's still early days. He wound me up. He just basically said he's a God-given gift to the world. He's going to be amazing and things like that. And, well, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, Benny. But listen, it's a David Moyes typical thing, everyone, that he's not going to start the next game, is he, Benny? He'll be Lanzini. And I'm telling you, it's just what the hell's going on. And what's your feelings on Lanzini, everyone, Frankie? I mean, I've had enough of Moyes.
He's just done. I mean, a lot of people dig out Cresswell for being done. A lot of people dig out many of our players and say they're past it now. Mate, Lanzini gives 0. When he come back after his bad injury, he'd lost that bit of edge. He lost a bit of pace. He lost that bit of sharpness that he had to get away from players. He's just done, mate. It's just finished. We shouldn't be relying on him, and he shouldn't have been subbed on. He really shouldn't. And
Matt, I mean, I don't care. Okay, Lingard could be absolutely atrocious till the end of the season, but the point is, to the football world, West, it's embarrassing how you don't tie up the Lingard deal when there's no other club to deal with. And Forest, I don't know. It's just a bit ridiculous, isn't it? At the end of the day, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was hanging over us like a hangover. To be honest, I think that was just a dark cloud over our transfer dealings for a couple of years. It was a real shame that he didn't sign up at that moment. But then, like you say, move on, and it just ended up. I think it didn't help the uncertainty because obviously it was someone that Moyes wanted. Someone that Moyes was interested in, but it didn't get that done. And what happens? We end up with Sullivan players like we've seen before, isn't it? Like we've seen with Vlasic and other people like that. Because, I call what Frank was saying, when Moyes signings come in, we can say that pretty much they're pretty on spot, and especially now we've got Rob Newman that can help us there. But when we end up with those panic Sullivan buys, what happens is not only we buy a player overpriced, high wages, but that will have a knock-on effect on our transfer budget and our wage budget for the future and prevent us from picking up someone that we really, really need. So, I mean, especially a guy like Lanzini, you've got to put him now, realistically, he's our new Yarmolenko. That can pick out a great goal here or there, but that's about it. That's about what he offers.
Tottenham goalie's living off, mate. That's it. And he did give me the greatest. That when that goal went in, Frankie, you remember? The cat scared. The cat just like, what the hell? I just hit the roost because everyone had given up. My son was upstairs. He went back to bed. He had enough, and I'm like, oh my god! And I could watch that goal. I mean, yeah, he's given that moment priceless, and it's amazing. Derek, this comment. Why I like this comment, everyone, is that when we were Europa 2 seasons ago, ahead of Arsenal, Tottenham, we didn't make it count, right? And now, I'm sorry, they're going to go Tottenham, they're going to go Arsenal. Forget it, you've missed the boat. And going back to Sullivan, the best player he ever bought was Sacco for me. I love Sacco. And
too.
Yeah, he's the one I bought. And it just, Frankie, I don't know. Listen, I'm 47? I can't remember what I am, 48. I don't know. But Frankie, I'm losing it. I've had enough. I can't handle it anymore. I used to be the one, calm down, everyone. No, I am really, because I just thought we beat Liverpool 3-2 in November. We were third in the league, 10 points clear of the naughty North Londoners. And then I was like, yeah, when January comes, oh my God, all we need is 1 or 2 players and we're going to clean everyone up. We've beaten Tottenham, we've beaten Liverpool, we weren't scared of anyone, we've beaten Man City in the League Cup. How wrong was
Jazz.
Jazz? How wrong was Jazz?
Jazz, question, mate. Question. We've got 2 losses on the bounce. Or for you as well, Frankie. 2 losses on the bounce. We now got the 2 qualifier games coming up to get involved in midweek now. And we've got Brighton, which we know are not an easy team. You know, they picked up a draw yesterday in that win against United. And then we've got Villa. It's gonna be a difficult situation on our tight squad, don't you think? How would you guys line up against? I know Viborg, we can say, wow, they're completely shit and whatever, but we've been there before with Ashton fucking Gugu.
Don't think that's a given. Don't think that's a given. So, whatever you do, and exactly, I'll tell you now. I'll tell you something.
How do you line up, Frankie? How do you line up, mate? How would you line up against Viborg?
I'm not paid to do it, and I'm not one who likes commenting too much about lineups because it's out of my realm. But what I do know is we've heard from the board before about, you know, cup competitions costing us money on travel and getting there, and we've sort of thrown European competitions before. The league status is so important to our board and their investment of West Ham United. Mate, don't be surprised if we came out with a real 2-bob side on Thursday and make it very, very hard work for ourselves. I don't think it's I cannot see us coming out and running through them, lining up really strong. The thing is, you know, he sort of hinted that, oh, you've got to wait your turn to Scamacca and Cornet and they're not ready yet and blah, blah, blah. You know, at the end of the day, they've not had a full pre-season. If you're worried about fitness, if you're worried about them getting used to the team, they must start on Thursday night. You know, Cornet hasn't played many minutes. He's got to be a starter. Scamacca's not played many minutes. He's got to be a starter. And we've got to come out there strong. We need to come out and get that game done and dusted in that first leg, finish it off, bury them. So no matter what happens in that second leg, the job's already done. What we don't want to do is a 1-0 situation or a real scrappy 1-1 or playing the youth and make it difficult for us because a disaster will be on the cards, mate. So
this name has made me hungry. I haven't had beans on toast in a long time. Matt, do you get proper baked beans in Mexico?
Beans on toast is a staple, mate. I have that at least once a week. It is the governor of a meal.
Matt, Mexico, do you get the proper?
I do buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I buy baked beans here. I'm in the US right now because, you know, I'm often in the US. So I'm here in the US. I buy baked beans. Get Heinz over here. There's quite a lot of stuff over there. So yeah, I'm about to have some breakfast tacos. That's what I'm about to have, some egg tacos right now with beef and everything. So can't beat beef for breakfast.
With David Moyes out, I mean, whatever. Any managers that you like? I mean, I love Eddie Howe at the moment. I like what I'm.
You won't be getting in, that's for sure.
No, it's gone. That train's gone. But David Moyes was the right one to get when he came in, and I had a lot of flack, and luckily I was kind of right. But for now, I've had enough, mate. I don't think so.
Yeah. And there's a comment there with Potter. Why would he come here? If we're not attractive enough to go and get a manager out of Brighton, might as well give up, mate. Like, if we can't offer him a good enough package, and if we can't offer him enough,
listen, I gave up after Lingard went to Forest. I gave up after that. How can you? And then listen,
to Everton.
That's it. Oh, Lampard, what a great. Listen, again, I'm going to get myself into trouble. A lot of these footballers they're not too. No, I'm not going to say I'm getting into trouble. Yeah, you just need to put arm around a lot of footballers and tell them this, that. And you can change their mind fairly quickly, you know, that kind of thing. Peter, I thought when I saw the lineup, I kind of just freaked out, mate. I had enough, mate.
The thing is, Jazz, is that unfortunately, if you look at West Ham as a project from the outside, you know, we're a project that's actually right now in decline. You know what I mean? We were in a project that was on the up. You know, we were looking on the up, challenging for Champions League. Okay, we messed it up just slightly. We messed it up and got Europa League competitive. And what happens? You know, we're now in a decline. Europa Conference starting poorly. I mean, we need to turn it around. And the only way we're going to do that is by keeping up with the Joneses. And what does that mean? Big investment. And like I said, mate, I still said I want us to go out and get that fucking marquee left back to spend 20 million, 25 million on a out of this world left back. I mean, to be honest, right now I'm thinking next year, if we can't get a left back in. Wait for Tierney, because Tierney's going to become available from Arsenal. Not saying he's the best fullback in the world, but at least he's someone that knows the Premier League, because Zinchenko's going to guarantee his place. And it's just frustrating, mate. It's just frustrating, because when you look at the quality of fullbacks in the top 6, and then you look at us with Creswell and Soufal, we're just miles off. Miles off.
This comment, I'm going to tell Frankie to take it away, because I think Frankie's got a few things perhaps. Rice was awful today.
He wasn't good. He had a really poor game. He is the untouchable, but he had a really off game today. Like I said, he was asked to be deeper than normal. He was alongside Lingard a lot, and I said it last night that I think Rice will be asked to deal with Lingard. And I do think that was kind of one of his biggest roles that he had today, was to keep Lingard quiet. You saw him very early on go shoulder to shoulder, and Lingard throws himself to the floor and got Rice booked, which was a liberty because Rice didn't touch him. But again, very clever from Lingard. We keep talking about game management. We're one of the naivest teams in the Premier League. Mate. We are all around. We are one of the naivest teams. It is so frustrating. And I don't want to be one of them game playing football clubs. I hate it. I hate Salah and his diving and Liverpool and Arsenal. I hate it. But it's part of the game now. And we do none of it. None of it. We don't manage a game at all. It's really frustrating. But I put Rice up as a big part of that, because he's our captain. He has to lead on that pitch more. I can't, today it was getting frustrating for us at times. That's when you need your captain to be the man who stands up and keeps it all together. Instead, he's throwing his arms up in the air. He's having a little hissy fit. He's having a little paddy. That is not what the team needs from your captain, from your leader. You having a little hissy fit and everything else. It's not good. We asked him to sit deep today. He obviously didn't want to play that role, because he really don't. He's told you, I want to get forward and get goals. It's proven, because he wants to put himself on penalty duties as well. All of that malarkey is annoying and frustrating. And when you get someone who's bigger than the club itself, because they command everything they want their way, it's always a bad idea. And I just
risk,
hope
mate.
he stays humble.
I said Frankie Show, I think, I stick to your bread and butter. You're a CDM and you're very good at it.
Very good. He's one of the best. He reads a game better than anyone else about, mate. He's fantastic.
Incredible.
At it. He don't want to do it.
And Frankie's had a really good point. Your best position is just in front of the back four. Don't go. Just stay to the halfway line maximum. I don't want you going above that line, because and he hardly scores. His shots go there, everywhere. Hit the post. You don't need to score. He
doesn't have the quality, mate. He doesn't have the. He's not an Iniesta. He's not a Xavi Hernandez. He's not that ilk of player. You know what I mean? He's a good, solid player who's playing above maybe his potential, or has played above his potential, but he's not going to be that game changer. He's not going to be a 10 goal a season, driving box to box midfielder. He is fucking good at what he does. He's brilliant at what he does. But like Frankie said, he's maybe getting too big for his boots. And the thing is that we're allowing him to do it because we want to build the team around him to keep hold of him.
It's no good if he's off next year, is it?
No, well, you know what, mate? It might end up, because the thing is, I mean, look today. Let's just look at today. 2 goalkeepers on the bench, like we've always complained about. Look at the substitutes that we had today. The only ones that could have made any impact to the game was Scamack and Cornet. The rest of them, Ashby, Coventry, Downs, Lanzini, completely meh. Not top 6. And so, you know what, mate? If we could get 100 million for Rice, and
we ain't going to get that. We're not getting it. We're not. I'm thinking 70, 65, 70 now. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I think the cat's amongst the pigeons. We've got...
Look at Leeds. Look at Leeds. Selling Calvin Phillips, got that money, got the money from Rafinha, reinvested it, and Leeds, I know they got a draw against a poor Southampton team, but they look better. So maybe that's what we need to do. Just bite the bullet and say, you know what, Rice, game's over.
Listen, talking about that, Fofana Leicester, mate, 70 million bid has been turned down. They're going to get 80. They got 92 for Maguire, and we know what we think of him. And Leicester going to get 80.
We missed the boat.
And he joined us ahead of. We were in for Fofana, if you lot remember. We were in for him.
We missed the boat on Fofana big time. We missed the boat big time on Fofana.
It's just that Leicester were ahead of us. Leicester bought Daka ahead of us. They bought that other guy ahead of us. Listen,
Maddison ahead of us.
Maddison's a bit injury prone. I don't care about him. I mean, we'll see what happens. Mr. Mace, you're absolutely right. Well, I was right even on penalties and stuff like that. I know, man. I'm just sick of it, mate. You know, when it's on a plate, you still mess it up. Derek is saying, you are dead right, Frankie. Yeah, it's the Moyes' favourite badge brigade, like Lanzini, Fabianski, Crezi.
And this is the big issue with everyone who wants this more squad depth to be able to compete better in European competitions, domestic competitions, and, you know, just have more options available to us. Don't matter how many options you give Moyes, he will still find his favourites and he will still play the same players every week in, week out. He's done it everywhere he's gone. He's never been any different.
Everton was a classic one, mate, where he had a threadbare squad and, you know, just never rotated anything.
He makes it work. He gets a bit out of them and he manages to get you stability and get you sort of top 10 finishes. He does do that. But, you know, that's about as far as it goes because he has no other options. He sort of finds a solution to something. He finds something that works. He sticks with it. He hasn't got any other plan Bs. He hasn't got any other way of playing, no other style. And it only takes you so far. And that's it.
I'll tell you what, in the chat, everyone's Moyes out. Wow.
I'm not sure we mean it. We're hurting at the moment, mate. We're hurting. I'm not sure everyone really is Moyes out.
But talking about what I was saying about project in decline, you know, thinking about this, if you go back to last season, we beat Everton, then we beat Lyon, and then we ended up getting stuffed by Chelsea, losing to Frankfurt. We got done by Arsenal. We got done. We lost
to Leeds, Southampton, December. We lost to Tottenham at home, Arsenal at home, Brighton at home. It went on. Burnley at home. Oh my days!
Well. We finished the season terribly with that Brighton loss. Then the pre-season's been nothing to sing about. Where are the wins? You know what I mean? We're just not winning. We're not picking up wins. And to be honest, one thing that I'm going to say is, and I do have to say it, Scamacca needs to start ahead of Antonio.
Bloody hell!
No other way to look at it because we're not getting goals. We're not getting goals.
He's a clown. I hate to say, he's a clown. He's so he's you know, if you did a bank robbery, he'll turn up in a car that's got no petrol in it, right? And you break down.
He's right.
That's Antonio. He's right.
He ain't got a brain about him, has he, mate? He really hasn't.
We're probably going to get shot, yeah.
But I do agree with what I see in the chat earlier on. Someone said about what project. I do totally agree. There is no project. We've fluked our way to a squad. I genuinely believe that the board think they had a master plan with David Moyes. I think it was more luck than judgment. I really do. I think the Souček signing, which actually worked out for a season, got Hammer of the Year, again, was a bit more luck than judgment. I think Soufal coming in, all of these little things, for whatever reason, just worked out for a change. Normally things don't work out for West Ham. For whatever reason, for once, things actually went our way. And I don't think it was through any sort of project or master plan or anything like that. And what gets me, it's a pure myth, this project, because everyone was going on about when David Moyes come out and said he loved the Red Bull model. Well, we had the oldest squad in the league. And yet people still talk about the Red Bull model. What are you even talking about? There is no project going on here. It is purely, I'll tell you what there is. There is a project, actually. There is. The project is maintain GSB's investment of West Ham United. That's the project.
Yeah. What I do mean by, you know, like you say, project is that Moyes gave us hope. You know, I think that's the main thing. And like you say, maybe it is circumstantial, Frankie. Maybe, you know, rather than a plan or a structure, like you say, maybe things came together, maybe like a Big Bang style, that everything just seemed to come in the right moment. And it just worked out. And the sad thing is, it's a really sad way to think that way, you know, because, you know, we'd love, like I say, we all live on hope, don't we? Especially as West Ham fans, we live on hope. So we love to think that the things are coming together because we're planning it that way. But if you analyze it and say maybe, we just got 2, 3, 4 pieces of luck consecutively, and because of that things are going well.
Matt, can you answer this comment? Matt, answer this comment, Matt.
Well, you know what, mate? She doesn't really do it for me, to be honest.
But that would be a groin. No, that's yeah. I agree with you. That'd be a groin strain, wouldn't it? Or
she's okay.
Frankie's staying well clear of it.
To be honest, Danny Dyer is a bit basic for me. To be
honest,
leave
it. Let's leave it at. Let's leave it at.
A bit basic. I love it.
Let's leave it at. What it is, a lot of Forest fans in it. I'm going to stick to it. You guys are the worst. I'm going to stick to it, and that could be hung at the end. You are the worst team in the league. I'm going to stick to my mind what I've seen, and I know what's going to happen. Nothing there, mate. And we have been so naive, non-streetwide. Oh, Alex, are we the worst?
No.
Matt, what I saw Man United, mate, I couldn't believe last night. I was loving it, mate. What is going on there, mate? Wow. Whoa.
No, it looked like De Gea was doing it on purpose, mate.
For £350,000 a week, my brother.
It was looking like, you know what, it looked like he was doing it on purpose. But the thing is there, mate, it's like I was comparing it with a mate of mine. I was saying De Gea is very similar to Fabianski. You know what the problem with De Gea is? The distribution. De Gea can't pass it long. So what happens is he always tries to play it out the back, and they get him on the press, and they got found out with the errors. Because it's like Fabianski. If you ask Fabianski to put a long ball through, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to where he wants it. Often goes out of the pitch. And I think that's what De Gea is lacking. As a shot stopper, he's been great. But in distribution, absolutely terrible. And they found him out. And to be honest, I mean, they're ending up, I think Man United are similar to us because they've been so stubborn, even though not yesterday, but with playing Fred and McTominay, like we are with Rice and Souček.
McTominay always scores against West Ham anyway. I hate him, yeah.
But the thing is, though, for example, McTominay or Fred for me is like a Souček. Keeps playing, but needs to fuck off and get someone fresh in. Because to be honest, for me, Souček has to go out.
Frankie, what's the issue with West Ham? Is it Moyes or Sullivan?
I think it's a bad combination. I think that is. I think the as a pairing, it's a disaster really because you got one who messes around with transfers, messes around with wages, finances, messes around with money. You've got one who differs with what he actually wants and can't decide and can't make up his mind. So the combination of the two was always a recipe for disaster. You was hoping that Newman was going to come in and be the man who sort of got rid of some of that. He would go and find the players. Moyes would be in agreement. Sullivan would be told, this is the man you got to go and get. And Sullivan would go and get the business done. Unfortunately, it's not working out like that. And we're still up to our old tricks. And that's the problem. But ultimately, I think everything stems, which it always has done for West Ham, with leadership from the top. And I think GSB ultimately are the reason why we don't get enough signings over the line, because they mess around with it too much. Yeah, and not enough. And all round, there are players, Moyes has said, Núñez, we absolutely bid for him, decided he didn't want to play for us. Well, why? Why? What offer did he have on the table? What have you done to not convince him? At the end of the day, we're a big club. This is what I know I'm biased, but I just think West Ham is just a massive, massive club.
Under before you bang on 60 for the 63,000 last week. What the hell? 1980.
They're massive, mate. And if you can't go and attract players, you've got a problem, mate. You've really got a big problem. And it does stem from the top. It's the way they negotiate. It's the way they lowball. It's the way they offend people. It's the lack of professionalism. It's everything. And it's always going to be the same while they're in charge of doing them sort of dealings, mate.
And you think the Saudi... Listen, I don't want Saudi people owning our club anyway before I say anything. But why would you pick... Why didn't Abramovich come to us? Why did even Ashby, the other guy? I mean, obviously Frankie from a business background knows that Ashby, Mike Ashby, he's good at running his.
I'm sorry, mate, I've got to head out.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, you take care, Matt. Thanks a lot. Yeah,
mate. Pleasure.
Take care, mate. Bye, mate.
Have a nice steak on me. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I was saying was we weren't good enough. I don't think Forest were good enough for free. But what, you missed a penalty, hit the post 3 times, and Antonio has to be the big
something
drum.
from that game, mate.
I don't think Forest were that good, were they? I don't think they were that good.
We deserve something from that game. I'm not saying we were great, because we weren't, and I do think there was a lot more we could have done to make sure we got something from the game. But there's no way that Forest deserved all 3 points. Not a chance.
No, Alex, I don't respect. I think they're a load of shit, mate. I'm sorry. I think Forest are crap. If Frankie 10 years ago in his prime, a couple of the pub lads from Kent, we would have drawn that game.
Mate, the problem, and again, actually, what he's just said there is part of the problem. We did put too much respect on Forest's name. We should have gone out there to give it to them from the very off, mate. We gave them far too much respect in that first half. Far too much.
I don't respect Everton. No, you can't say things like that. Having a big stadium. Which Valley? What? No, we're in the ground, mate. All right, Valley ain't gonna have under. You're talking about World War II, mate.
Got a soft spot for Charlton, mate. As you know, I used to live about 5 minutes away. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So Robert Lee played. He should have come much earlier West Ham before Newcastle.
Yeah.
Robert Lee.
My family used to sponsor him when it was Lee Bowyer and Robert Lee, and it was Cole Leeburn, Mendonca, and all them players.
I know you're young, but do you remember the '86 third round live on BBC with Frank McCarthy?
I weren't even born, son. I weren't even born.
Right. I knew. Well, I kind of had that. Yeah, we beat them when you seen it. Yeah, we had that last minute goal. We done them.
Yeah.
Lenny Lawrence was a manager back then. Lenny Lawrence. Oh, they ground shared with us, didn't they, Frankie? Charlton ground shared Upton Park, West Ham.
Yeah. Mate, there was a lot of connections. Obviously, it was only a short walk through the foot tunnel and then a 101 to West Ham, mate. It was...
Did you know Billy Bonds came from there? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it, man. I'm going to go for the comments and I'm going to give Frankie Sunday back to him because we're going in for 1 hour, 20 minutes. Ryan's me and Ryan are always in the same wavelength. It's weird. Ryan, when I'm pissed, Ryan's always. It's like Frankie said. It's a bit of, I used to think we're cursed with the bubbles fading. I think we're cursed.
We are cursed, mate. We are. I thought when we got rid of the old bowling ground and Amber Lynn's curse was lifted, I thought it might change, but we are cursed, mate. That Aguerd situation was a real tough one to take. How many times do we sign players and then you don't see them for however long? And do you remember when we signed Kieran Dyer and then that all blew up in our face? And Dean Ashton was the best striker we'd had in God knows how long, and then he goes and gets a long-term injury and can't play no more. It's
I remember Richard Hall, how he had that sign from Southampton, and Dixie done him in training. He never played for West Ham again. Yeah. Robbie Slater never. I think Dixie, one of them, smashed him. Right, he never played again. Trini, I don't agree. I think I keep saying you make your own luck. I think we were piss poor, not clever enough, not guile enough, and I keep thinking, Frankie, why are you shooting like someone weak person?
Mate, at the end of the day, City don't win the league because of luck today.
And I still agree. I think a point last week was on the cards if we had half a decent transfer window, 3-4 players in there, because we do have a good base. But yeah, Darren, I've had enough, mate. I'm going to go through the comments. Oh my God. Right. I'm just going to go through the comments because, we're running out of time. Yeah. We are second from bottom for some reason. Goal difference. Yeah, Man United are bottom. We're second from bottom. Tottenham, mate. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know. I'm going to go into hiding in the cave or something. Yeah, well, I think it's going to happen. No. None of that. But
And do you know what? That I was thinking about that the other day, mate. That has gone a little bit, hasn't it? Do you remember the West Ham way? That we used to love to play ball on the floor. We used to love to play silky football. We used to love a bit of flair, but we also used to have a bit of grit about us. We used to be able to mix it up, and that has vanished into oblivion. And I know probably for the first time we've got a style under Moyes, if you like, if that's what you want to call it. But it is incredibly one-dimensional, and it's certainly not what us West Ham fans are used to.
Tommy, I agree with that, but what I was saying is... instead of Benny, I said Bowen in the middle until we get the number 10. because we need that creative number.
I think it makes sense. I think Antonio playing down the right hand side might be the solution to finding him a bit of form again, maybe.
Going back to what you just said about West Ham, people say, the game's a lot faster. Watch any of John Lyall's games from the mid-'80s. When that game kicks off, keep your eye on Ray Stewart, other fullback, and McAvenny in terms of playing like wing backs, attacking that first ball. We were super fit, but Mark Ward, people like that, mate, we were on it. Right?
Yeah, John Lyall used to say, if you get kicked, you wasn't fast enough. That's what he used to say.
Playing on the front foot,
you should never get kicked. You should never because you should be quicker. And that's it. John Lyall was, mate, he was a proper winner, proper manager. What we'd give for someone like him again would just.
Do you know, look, Frankie? A lot of the players. Like I'm gonna next week. I'm gonna announce some things that people do that. There's nothing to do with sponsorship. I don't want any money, but these people are going to be. I'm going to be promoting what they do for the club. That could be mean. Like I think Kennington, Len, and one or two others that I'll get on with. I'm going to just promote their name before the shows happen. But the thing is, Bowen. The thing is, no. It's something to do with his mindset or something like that, mate. And Frankie, we don't blame him. In life, we want to show ambition. If the club doesn't show it, which it hasn't on numerous times. It's going to happen, isn't it, mate? It's going to happen, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chris, you're a new one. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Antonio, I just hate having to go out players. I'm on that tipping. But how are you feeling? Are you angry? You're not angry with me, are you? You're gonna flip tomorrow. I don't know. Some people take it differently, don't they? After the game, I don't know. I've had enough, mate.
No, it's coming to that point, mate, where something's got to give, something's got to change. And we've been to, like I said to people as well, if you let the ball off the hook, if everyone's pacified, don't think they don't watch social media and what the fans are feeling, because they do. When pressure comes on them and they think the fans are angry, that's when they act. If they think they can get away with not signing another player now until the end of the window, believe me, they'll do it, because that's just how they are. If they think they've got enough to be in the top half of the Premier League, that's all that matters to them. That's as far as their ambition goes. So if we're all pacified and happy, which a lot of our fans have been, because they think we've had some sort of miracle transfer window, which I think is a bang average transfer window, the minimum we should expect from West Ham United. I think we need to keep the pressure on them, mate. I really do think we need to keep the pressure on the board and try and get them to make some more signings.
I know you said a few things. What's your summary on... Well, I apologise for you have to repeat yourself, Antonio performance, if you could sum that up.
I do think he was better at holding the ball up today, but like I say, I think he lost his head. And I think, again, I blame Moyes for not managing that situation. I'm not going to blame Declan for it, because I think I would have liked to have seen him try and calm Antonio down and try and grab hold of that situation. But I'm not going to put it down to him at this stage. I'm going to put it down to David Moyes seeing Antonio was losing his head and leaving him on the pitch for far too long. I think a change could have been made a lot earlier with Antonio to try.
This comment, Alex, and Alex, I love you. This comment, I've got my Liverpool relative in the front room, and I didn't say nothing to him when he saw the West Ham. He goes, "Wow, that's a lot of fans, isn't it?" And he didn't know. I said, "What?" I said, it doesn't matter how many connections I've got. I ain't gonna get away ticket West Ham, mate. What are you talking about? So you talk about Forest fans are incredible. Our fans are incredible. Yeah. Well, I think we're the best fans in the world,
you're
mate.
right, mate. So, Forest come up, they make a bit of noise. I don't think it was particularly, all that, when they do to the goalkeeper and all that rubbish. I find it as muggy as anything, mate.
Our fans are the best. Our fans are the best, mate.
The lower league football mentality that from their fans. I don't think they were that special, to be perfectly honest.
Listen, West Ham for me is the best. But Noble, Noble's gone. God bless him. History gone. He's not. He's
right. It's what we were trying to say earlier on. The leadership by missing Noble and missing Stuart Pearce, they're two big losses. I don't think people appreciate how bad.
Thank you. Read this comment. Read it. Oh my God, it's a sense of humour, West Ham fans. Frankie's like, someone told me we're like neck and neck with Man United. Oh, mate, what a comment. It's West Ham.
They finished above us last season, so.
And that's the worst Man United team in history. I'm not going to be able to go through any more comments, but I tell you what, I'll do the last three, and I have to let Frankie go. Oh, bit effing there. I like a bit of swearing. Let me hide that. Right, it is what it is. So we have some issues in terms of forget finishing 6 or 7, Frankie. Forget that, mate. Forget it. Forget 6 or 7 at the moment. There's too many issues at the moment. We'll do a couple more shows. Frankie, respectively, knows a couple of people inside, but obviously we'll go into that slowly. What's going on with the window? Another few weeks to go. I've heard PSG, that boy is nearly over the line, but I'm not gonna count my whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard I don't know nothing about him. I heard he's just steady Eddie.
Yeah.
All I can see, steady Eddie. Nothing to jump out your chair out of, and we'll tackle that on another show. But for me, we are second from bottom, playing the worst team in the league, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's a shambles. It's an EastEnders scenario. No, I'm not in a happy place. I've had enough. Frankie, couple of closing comments from you, and we're going to call it.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't think it was a terrible performance today. I do think we were very, very unlucky. It was one of the most frustrating, annoying games to watch. I was sitting there livid at times. And not just because for West Ham's performances or Moyes' selections or anything like that, but just the hitting the crossbars and the chances we had, and we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. It was one of those very, very frustrating games. And I said earlier on that there's this whole our season starts next week against Brighton, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with it. However, Brighton, for me, is going to really let us know where we are. We've got a really tricky European tie in the middle of it, which is a bit of a distraction. And then we've got a team that we just cannot beat for whatever reason coming up. And it's a massive game already. 3 games in and we're talking about must-win games. It's madness. But Brighton, the one thing you definitely don't want to be is 3 games in and no points on the board. So we've got a massive next home game. And we need to get in there, mate. We need to get behind them. And I think we just got our frustrations behind us a little bit to try and get through that Brighton game the best we can. And hopefully we come out with a win. If we don't, I dread to think where the fans are going to go, because we're all frustrated enough as it is. So it's interesting times coming up. I've got tickets for Villa away, so I'll be doing that, taking my son to his first ever away game. So we'll be up at Villa, so we're going to look forward to that. And and that'll be that. You're right there, mate.
Yeah, I think my cousin's leaving, but all I'm saying is, no. I think Villa's ground. I had my mate told me last year on the day, like when it was raining, and I thought, and we won 4-1, and I obviously regret that. But for me, I'll stick by it, mate. Forest are terrible. I could see it. They're really bad. I think they're going to get done 4-5, 6-0, and then we'll look back on this result and then kind of agree with me. But I could be wrong, but for me, no, I'm not happy. The show goes on. It's all about fans like you, and it's just I've had enough. I think
I have. The only thing I don't want to see, I saw comments earlier on from the slightly younger generation saying they don't want to support this poxy club anymore and support this club and blah blah blah.
No,
whoa. And it don't matter how bad it gets, I will always love supporting this club. It's still the best club in the world, mate. And the new breed have got to stop with that sort of mentality, mate, because there's nothing better than being a West Ham United fan. So no matter how bad it gets, the good times are always just around the corner again, mate. And a lot of the time, the good times come when you least expect it. So you have to stick at it. You got to go. I remember, mate, even when we've been down and out, the worst side that we've had, and we've gone to places like Old Trafford and got a result, or we've gone wherever and got results. So you stick with it, West Ham, through thick and thin, no matter what, mate. And that sort of mentality and attitude, that modern day football fan attitude, is no good to anyone.
Yeah, before I go, obviously the Burnley bubbles, putting the flag on the floor, and Dix with the bondholder thing, 93 Everton, and it is what I'm not in a good place. I think I run out of patience. I'm a very patient guy, very patient, and someone's Jazz, I am grumpy. I've had enough. But anyway, I'm going to wish you a lovely, lovely Sunday, and we're hoping the rain's coming tomorrow, mate. I think it's
I
coming.
need it. I need it.
I've had enough. I've had enough of this. Yeah, I've had enough. Need some rain, but it is what it is. We're second from bottom. Come on, well, did the third kick come out today?
No idea. The first two were bad enough. The first two were bad enough. We don't need any more.
Kenny Brown's winner. Do you remember that Man United sending him, stopping him from winning the league twice? Yeah, we know that. Glasgow. But anyway, thanks a lot again, Frankie. We'll catch up with some transfer news next couple of days. Come on, you irons. Wake up, you dozy little shits. But anyway, yeah, take care, mate. Thanks for joining me.
Mate.
Take care.
See you later,
All right, take care.